my goodness. And there it is. Wow, gets the pin to go.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Bowl TV for continued coverage of the 2021 PWBA Albany Open, taking place at Kingpin's Alley Family Fun Center in South Glens Falls, New York. My name is Aaron Smith. I'll be joined by Emil Williams Jr. and Curtis Von Kruger in just a moment. We are wrapping up the warm-up session here for round number 3. The top 32 competitors are back for another 6-game block. And after this, we'll get down to the top 12. We'll continue to cut the field one more round after this to get us to the top 4 for tonight's stepladder finals taking place at 6 p.m. Eastern right here on Bowl TV. The story yesterday, we're on a 36-foot pattern, so we saw a lot of strikes out there, a lot of players migrating toward the gutter as you typically do on a shorter pattern, and we saw the strikes come out. Stephanie Johnson kicked off the day with a huge opening block, averaged more than 248 to take the early lead. And then it was the Kelly Kulick show late. She fired the highest 6-game block of the day, averaging more than 253. She went 323 over in her final block, including a 300 in the final game to take the overall lead into competition coming into today. But the top 4, the top 10, it all looks great. So many talented players within the mix. We mentioned Kelly. We got Shannon O'Keefe, Danielle McCune, Stephanie Johnson in the top 4, Liz Johnson 5th, going a few spots down. Brianna Clemmer, Alexis Nair, Lauren Pate, Brianna Cote, and Verity Crawley all in your top 10. But the number that we're looking at right now is the top 12. Cara Mangiola from Spencerport, New York, holds on to that spot. She's at plus 238, so we'll be talking about that a little bit more as we get into competition here. So we're going to go ahead. We'll get Emil and Curtis into the show in a little bit, but we're going to go ahead and go to the lanes here at Kingpin's Alley as the warm-up session has just wrapped up, so competition is going to be kicking off in just a second. The group of players we're going to start looking at here in this in game 1 are players who are all within the mix, but a little bit outside of the number. So they're going to be looking to start their day strong and make a run at the top 12. So we'll break that down a little bit. If you're watching on Bowl TV, as you know, we have 4 channels available in addition to a commentary channel, which is actually what you're watching right now. For the folks watching on Facebook, good morning. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. We'll be live on Facebook for game number 1. Then you'll have to head over to bowltv.com to watch the rest of the block, including the stepladder finals later tonight. So be sure to pick up that subscription. 3 different price points to come in at: an event ticket to watch live for $8.95, a monthly recurring subscription for $9.95, so just $1 more to get a month worth of Bowl TV. And then the annual subscription, the best way to support the PWBA Tour, $79.95. Transaction fees do apply for all those. With the monthly and the annual subscriptions, you do get full access to bowltv.com. So not only the live events like we're watching right now, but the archived events and on-demand content as well. So as we get ready for game number 1, we'll go full screen. We're behind lanes 25 through 28 to get things underway here. Our group to the left, Valerie Bercier, Julia Bond, and Sandra Gongora. Julia Bond, the current frontrunner for PWBA Player of the Year, sits in 13th place, so she is 4 pins back of the cut at plus 234. Sandra Gongora in 14th place, plus 227, so just 11 pins back. Valerie Bercier in 26th place at plus 150. Over on 27 and 28, Tour rookie Taylor Bailey, who's in 25th place at plus 163, is joined by Caitlin Johnson, another rookie out on tour this season, who's in 16th place at plus 190, and then Missy Parkin in 15th place, plus 225. Once again, we do have live scoring available to view the entire house, courtesy of Lane Talk, excuse me. So big thank you to Lane Talk. Once again, with this 36-foot pattern, 27 mils is the volume. But we're using the Kegel terrain oil, which is one of their cooking oils. This is also a high friction house, so the gutter definitely in play. When we talked to Nick Hoagland about some of the pattern characteristics, he said it was reminiscent of the early days of the PBA cheetah pattern, a foot longer than the original cheetah at 36 feet, but want to get the ball right, want to be aggressive out there near the gutter, and we've seen a mix of equipment from reactive to urethane. We'll get to see that early breakdown as well today. And talking to Kelly Kulik last evening after her big round, she said she used urethane primarily in the first game just to kind of manage. With these being HPLs, a ton of friction, a ton of hook. So her goal for game one is kind of maintain and kind of let something develop. That was off to the races last night. She shot 813 after a 2-0 start. Another 2-0 game before finishing with 300 on the way to the lead. As we mentioned, the Bowl TV team consisting of a few different folks this week. So we're going to bring in Emil Williams Jr. to the broadcast. Let's bring him in. He looks ready to go. There he is. EWJ, good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm doing excellent. I'm ready for another exciting day on the PWBA tour. We got the gutter in play. We got cuts coming up. We got a step ladder final later tonight. It's going to be a solid Saturday in my book.
I agree. There is a lot, obviously, to keep in mind and to keep track of, and still kind of sit and fester on what happened last night as we watched Kelly Kulik in a way, in a sense, kind of reclaim what was hers, if you will. Brought us back. I mentioned the word nostalgia last night, and with the fans in attendance and being able to watch Kelly shoot 300 to end the round seemed very much like the place that obviously we've all seen Kelly before. She's been looking for that next win, if you will. 2017, it's been a little minute since the Fountain Valley Open that season, and this certainly could be the day. And I think she took everyone on a very good ride. There's Six Flags here locally, Aaron, in Lake George, just down the way, and that we had a very nice ride up the hill last night, and it could continue here today.
It was fun to watch, and one of the developing stories that we'll look at throughout the course of the competition is, we mentioned this is the cut to get to the top 12, and heading into this round, Cara Mangiola at plus 238 in 12th place. We got to go down to 28th place, Alicia Curd at plus 139 for players within 100 of the cut. And with the higher scoring pace, if someone, as we saw with Kelly, can get hot and put up some big numbers, you can quickly make up some ground. So that's a lot of players within 100 of the number. But looking at the 4th place spot at the moment, Stephanie Johnson plus 361. There are only 6 players within 100 pins of the top 4 at the moment. So obviously a lot of games left to go before we get down to that top 4. But it was interesting to see the separation there more toward the top versus the players who are still looking to make it into the top 12.
Yeah, it's a bit of a different story, like you said, the last couple of weeks. I mean, Today there's no clear-cut top seed at the moment, right? That still could change. The top 4 could change, certainly. And obviously, if maybe the top 3, we'll just say the top 3 for now, but you even got to go to the top 5, top 6. The top 12 is not by any means set at any point. I don't think anyone's safe, to be perfectly honest, because of the lane condition and what certainly could be possible out there. So Curtis is going to join us here momentarily, and Aaron, I think he's going to have an update about some of the equipment that's being used, and we see more of a certain type of equipment. And if you've been following this broadcast, you know exactly what we're talking about. So without further ado, Curtis, what is that piece of equipment?
Good morning, gentlemen. Good to be out here in New York. Lots and lots of urethane being thrown today. I counted numerous players throwing it today this morning. Danielle McEwen, Sandra Gongoria, the list goes on. Alexis Nair, all in urethane to start the day. It's going to be interesting how that affects the transition as you get some oil moved around. Things are going to start playing a little tighter. I do think the lanes are going to break down a little bit better than they did yesterday. I think there will be a lot of strikes, still a quick scoring pace. One of those players that is going to look to make a move, kind of the hometown favorite this week, is Liz Culkin. If you guys have already talked about it, she has a huge crowd favorite right now. Lots of fans come up to watch her bowl, so it's really energizing to see the people clapping, getting into it, even early in the morning. So it's going to be an exciting finish. We'll see if she's able to make a move and secure her spot in the 12, and then maybe even the television show later on this evening. But lots of great bowling today, and it's going to be an exciting one.
I agree. Obviously, Curtis, and I think Liz Culkin may be even be throwing urethane. She might be throwing a purple hammer. At least she did for a few shots in practice, for sure. And there was a couple other players that I saw. I know Daria had been in urethane all day yesterday. I think she's going to start with that. She was already thinking about potentially what she might have to do later in the block from a ball change perspective as well. So, the urethane is the toast so far today. And how will it affect things, we'll find out.
Absolutely. I'll keep you guys apprised of any strike streaks we have going on. Obviously, we had the 300 watch 2021 end yesterday with Kelly Kulick bowling the 300 in final game. If you haven't checked out her interview on Facebook, go ahead and give us a like. Go drop by and leave a comment on the Facebook page, PWBA Facebook page. Check out that great interview she gave, talking about how having fans back in the building really energized her and led her to that 300 game. Really good stuff there. Go check that out and share it with your friends.
Absolutely. Great stuff indeed. Excellent interview as well, Curtis von Kruger.
Good work.
Thank you, sir.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
guys.
All right, Curtis joining us. Sideline reports throughout the course of the competition. That video is a great video or a great interview with Kelly that Curtis put together last night. So be sure to check it out. PWBA and USBC Facebook pages are hosting that right now. So we're cruising along here in game number 1. And seen a couple strikes out here in the early going on our featured pair. Sandra Gongora starting off with the front 4 before a 9 spare in frame number 5. Let's go back full screen. Mentioned Liz Culkin in 24th place. She's at plus 168, so a little bit of a rough start for Liz. So she was kind of in comeback mode throughout the course of competition to make the cut and kind of solidified herself in the final 2 games last night. But it's been fun to hear the crowds, especially we can always tell when she's around you, Emil, because they're going nuts after every shot.
Yeah, they she missed a few spares yesterday. If you caught her social media posts about yesterday's performance, she talked a little bit about that as far as the spare shooting, and disappointed, of course. So she made a spare early. I think it was frame 1, and the largest ovation. The crowd, they just erupted and cheers, and mostly fun and jeers, if you will, giving her a a little crap, so to speak, that she got to spare out the way early on. But, obviously, Miss Spare certainly, she cost herself 40, 50 pins right there. So it was fun to read what she said and then kind of talk to her a little bit about that this morning as well, just to kind of confirm some of the things she talked about. And we had touched on it a little bit, Aaron, and I had mentioned, while Liz is certainly a player who thrives and feeds off the energy, you can't not put into perspective what bowling in front of your family and friends means. And sometimes you don't want to disappoint them. And she said she had some nerves yesterday. She was certainly ready to go, but there was that small element of, hey, they're here to watch me. So I do want to make sure I'm on my game. And she got it together, obviously, in round number 2, and some great ball changes. You mentioned to the Brunswick staff, the reps here, Chuck and Eric, and their help as well. But, so it's a real thing. The athletes go through it all, all of the ups and downs, the nerves. And Liz always talks about being an athlete, and she is one. And nerves sometimes are still a part of an athlete's journey. As Michael Jordan used to say, if you're not nervous, something's wrong with you. Aaron stuck.
It was good. I had nerves thinking about my response.
I think so. I saw the shakes. I saw the jitters from you, man.
I think you remember a little bit earlier I mentioned Kelly Kulik had started off with urethane in that big block yesterday to just kind of manage the reaction, stay out of trouble. She started with the front 7. So that was at least 19 consecutive strikes. Unfortunately, it looks like a 8-10 in frame 8 slowed her roll down. So an open frame for Kelly in the 8th. She can still shoot 266 as Valerie gets that one leaning over the edge to come motoring back. But some big games developing across the house here. Gigi Mason, who was the last player to make it in, that was probably a scary couple of minutes after the end of that final game for her. 170 to fall to be the number at plus 87. She can shoot 279. She's bowling with Kelly on 13 and 14. Shannon O'Keefe also on that pair can shoot 268. So some scores there. Stephanie Johnson, our round 1 leader, can still shoot 280 this game. Liz Johnson, my man Hosan, getting excited. Liz Johnson, front 7, over on 17 and 18. Lauren Pate, 6 out of 7 strikes. Cindy Brummett can shoot 279.
I had a funny combo this morning with Daria Payok, and she mentioned again, she was in urethane. She was like, how can I strike in games 4 and 5 today? and that those seem to be maybe the troublesome games for her yesterday. She's thinking maybe ahead of time, like, if she has to go out of urethane or get out of it, which ball is it, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm like, obviously the blocks are there, the score is there. There's going to be some pins to be had. She was talking about how many she was out at the moment. As far as the top 12 was concerned, and wasn't that much from you think about it in the 6-game block perspective. But of course, you're also anticipating everyone else to continue to score well. We started talking about the scoring pace. Did we think it was going to be higher than yesterday? It was a little bit different last week because of Friday everyone was kind of playing in various spots. Saturday, the entire field essentially played the same area, and the scoring pace went up. Here, it's this pattern it gives you exactly what you need, tells you where to play, and everyone's been playing there for the most part, having success. So Daria's going to need a few big games. She can certainly do it. She could be on her way here in game 1, but she may need a little help, maybe. But if Daria strikes like she did at the 2017 U.S. Women's Open, or the St. Petersburg Clearwater Open a few years ago, she could easily make the top 12 and make that run.
Well, right now she can max out at 280 over on 31 and 32. Taylor Baltice also on that pair can shoot 279. Carrie Smith on that pair can get into the 240s. So the numbers are certainly out there to get this morning. Liz Johnson update, front 8 on 17 and 18.
Man, she is. I think to me, she's just kind of been locked in, meaning I'm just going about my business today. I'm not thinking about previous weeks, the weeks I've struggled. Because in a sense, it's been like fantastic, right? Win a title, shoot 300, and then have the worst week you can have after that. And so she's had a few up and down weeks for Liz Johnson. We always have to make that caveat, right? When we're talking about the greatest of all time, standards are a little bit different than other players. Just keeping it real. And so it's easy to think about, Liz finishes 12th. That's a good week for many. That's probably not the greatest week for Liz Johnson. And now she's back, comfort, doing her thing. And not much to do, I think, for Liz, right? She knows what to do in this situation. This is her game. Like, this is her. This is us. It's a good show. This is her, Liz Johnson. Liz Colkin, by the way, has got her purple urethane working. Purple hammer is working, buddy. I don't know if it's a new one. They got some new ones out there they've been marketing that are releasing very soon. But whichever one it is, it's hooking.
The Emil report. It's hooking.
It's hooking. I mean, it's actually a little bit different to see Liz Colkin throw urethane. I don't think I've ever seen her throw a urethane ball until right now. And so we all know her ball motion, right? You can see a lot of left to right with Liz, and she is able to still kind of get that motion with urethane. So it's interesting to watch her urethane ball make a left turn. It's not violent because it's still urethane, but watching her ball enter the 1-3 in the Liz Colkin manner is actually really something to see. So for those curious of what I'm talking about, she is on PWBA 3. Her 9th frame will be up soon.
Liz Johnson did not strike in frame number 9. 10-pin ended her run at perfection here in game 1. So looks like no 300 to speak of, but plenty of big scores out here at the Albany Open to kick things off. Caitlin Johnson had a nice run in the second block yesterday to make the top 32 here, but her string of strikes is going to end to kick off the 10th. She can still get to 213. Not the start to the 10th Sandra Gongoro was hoping for. 4-6-7. So it looks like a low 210 game for her. Taylor Bailey, 244 out of the gates.
Yeah, entering the day, obviously, Aaron, and I'm sure you talked about it before we joined the broadcast, how important, or not necessarily important, but how serious the top 5 was entering the day. Obviously, Kelly, Shannon, Danielle, Stephanie Johnson, and Liz Johnson. Those are 5 Team USA standouts, longtime members, stars, etc. Every superlative you'd like to use in that situation. I think the only player missing, and correct me if I'm wrong, Aaron, is Shannon Pluhowski from the 2015 gold medal squad in Abu Dhabi. That sound right?
That does sound pretty correct without double checking and looking, but I would agree with that. And now I'll go double check and look. We have the tools. We have the technology.
We do have tools. Daria Payo's got the tools right now. Tools working. They're working hard for her in game 1. Daria on PWBA 3.
You are correct on that, Mr. Williams.
So pretty impressive, obviously. And I know that's been talked about already. And looking ahead to what could be from a stepladder finals, I mean, it just really could be the ultimate situation. I expect one young player, though, to make a run at the top four tonight.
I think that's a good point to mention here as we get toward the end of game one. Is that, you talk about that top five, but in the top 10, though, for that young talent out on tour, that next generation, Brianna Clemmer in 6th, Alexis Nyer in 7th, both the rookies this year, Lauren Pate, who's, I believe, a second-year player now, and then in 10th place, Verity Crawley, who's been knocking on the door now for the past couple of weeks, looking to collect that first career victory.
Yep, and Julia Bond, who just opened with 247 down there in 13th. We know she can make runs, of course, as well. Brianna Cote, not a young player at this point in her career, but obviously someone who continues to put herself in position to win titles, and that's all you can expect from someone as experienced and seasoned as her. And then obviously Sydney Brummett, still in that young player category also. I mean, this thing could go a lot of different ways, Aaron, and the best part of our job today is that we just get to kind of guide the wonderful Bowl TV community and reaching the pinnacle later tonight.
That's correct. And for the Bowl TV community, as you folks know, you're already in the right place to continue watching this broadcast from the PWBA Albany Open. For the folks who are watching on Facebook, we appreciate you swinging by. And we certainly hope you check out bowltv.com for the rest of the coverage coming up today, including the stepladder finals. Once again, we're going to be only streaming the broadcast moving forward now to bowltv.com. So head on over there, pick up a subscription starting as low as $8.95 for live coverage of the rest of the competition here today from the Albany Open, along with monthly and annuals options at $9.95 and $79.95. Plus transaction fees. We have giveaways. We have a great community of folks in the chat talking bowling, talking good times, occasionally even talking donuts when we get on the subject. So it's really a fun place to be to watch bowling and to watch these great athletes on the PWBA Tour. So for the folks on Facebook, this is us saying we hope we see you soon over at bowltv.com for the PWBA Albany Open. So check it out. If you're already on Bowl TV, we'll be right back for game 2 here in the round of 32. All right, folks, we have moved into game 2 of 6 here at the PWBA Albany Open on BullTV.com, taking place at Kingpins Alley Family Fun Center, upstate New York, the capital region, South Glens Falls, New York, our host this week. We talked about some of the up-and-coming talent on the PWBA Tour, and we're getting to see a lot of those names here that we mentioned in that top 10 starting off today. Now moving to 25 and 26. That's Alexis Nyer delivering the strike. We have Lauren Pate as well, both of them starting the day in the top 10. Amanda Njokas, a non-member who bowled well last week, is making her second consecutive round of 32 appearance here on the PWBA Tour as a non-member, a collegiate standout at Vanderbilt University. Over on 27 and 28, we have Alicia Current. I believe we had Steve mention earlier that he was at that 2015 event at Fireside Lanes. Alicia won that title, the first event back in the PWBA Tour schedule in 2015 after the relaunch. Brianna Cote, a two-time champion, won earlier this year at the ITRC Classic, was the runner-up at the Greater Cleveland Open. And Verity Crawley, who has put together back-to-back fourth-place finishes here on tour. On the pair on 27 and 28. Lauren Pate throwing some pins around for the early double. Big hello to everybody in the Bowl TV chat. Appreciate the support as always. See Chris's comment about Kara, another cool jersey today. The pizza slice jersey has been in rotation for, so we've seen that one out on tour a couple times, but very cool indeed. She's rocking the donuts yesterday for National Donut Day.
How about, I don't know if you mentioned this already, Aaron. I apologize if you did. Amanda Njokas, though, back-to-back weeks of essentially cashing, but we'll be going to the Smart Fund. I would be almost positive of that. I don't think she would even bowl if she couldn't. Because she's got to go back and help Vanderbilt win a national championship at some point in the next 3 years.
Anchor down, y'all. I'm a big fan of the anchor down.
It's a very nice hashtag.
It is.
I think it's perfect in all facets, right? Oh, how about that? And on cue.
Anchor down.
On cue, Amanda. Drop that anchor. Anchor down. Going to the bottom of the sea. But probably most important, it's not too many characters for social media.
It's a good amount for social.
Which is underrated. And the Jokas family actually came up to me today and thanked me for what I said about Amanda's grandmother, who was undergoing some surgery yesterday. There was no need to thank me, but I appreciate it. You know, we just all need to remember that we all go through stuff. So have some level of thoughts, compassion, understanding. You know, we'll be all right. That's what Kendrick Lamar said, right? We gonna be all right. Might be too early for some of the Bowl TV community for that one.
It's never too early for
Might
a
have to wait.
score update, however.
Indeed. Let's do it.
Kelly Kulick, 244 in the opener to get to plus 504. Continues to lead. Shannon O'Keefe, 254 to kick things off. She's at plus 481. Danielle McEwen, 213 in the opener. She's at plus 435. Stephanie Johnson holds on to fourth. She shot 257 in the opener, plus 418. So our top four stays the same. Liz Johnson, 255, plus 392. Lauren Pate, she had 246. She's at plus 349. Alexis Nair, plus 335. Brianna Clemmer, plus 305. So she was the one player to drop a couple spots here. She rolled 182 in the opener, down to 8th place now. Sydney Brummett, plus 289. Julia Bond moves into the top 10, plus 281. Brianna Cote, plus 274. And Cara Mangiola, plus 272. Still hangs on to that 12th spot. Moving up into 13th place, however, Daria Payuk, 279. She's now in 13th place, plus 258. Verity Crawley, plus 254. Sandra Gongora, plus 238. Taylor Boltice with 258 to get to plus 236, as is Missy Parkin. Liz Culkin, 267. Getting things going here early, all the way up to 18th, plus 235. Carrie Smith, plus 216. Maria Jose Rodriguez, plus 211. Clara Guerrero, plus 209. Taylor Bailey, plus 207. Caitlin Johnson, plus 202. Those are the players at plus 200 or higher through 13 games overall.
Already putting in that work early, Aaron. Liz Culkin, I mean, you can never be, or you can never not want to be the beneficiary of great support. And the fans, her fans, specifically, her fans, just might will her, not only to the top 12, but I think she might have enough to get to the top 4 today.
Woo.
Bold prediction. The fans are going to will Liz Culkin. How about that for a story?
It writes itself. Out of the number most of day number one, a late rally to make the top 32. Starting the day nearly 200 pins back of the top 4. Let's get Curtis rolling the B, or Curtis rolling the B-roll right now.
Yeah, we'll have a little bit stored up. It would be great for obviously Liz Culkin and her fans, but it would actually be probably even better for the region as well.
That would be pretty cool, and we've been talking about it throughout the course of the week. Just the local support for professional bowling in upstate New York, the central region or capital region. Very dedicated. A couple of newspapers out there. In talking to Liz, she mentioned there's still a few newspapers with weekly columns about bowling, what's going on in the area, top scores locally, keeping track with the professionals in the area like Liz Culkin and her endeavors out on the lanes, not just locally but nationally. So it's a lot of cool stuff. So shout out to just the community in general there in upstate New York for being proponents for the sport of bowling.
Aaron, Sydney Brummett and Beardgate Norwich both have are unblemished on the scorecard through about 5.5 frames.
I see that over on 29 and 30.
I don't know if the community is trying to is recognizing it here, but I'm going out of my way to try to think about additional ways to describe a player's path to an unblemished scorecard without saying whatever it is we say in bowling. And I may have done it anyway.
I think one thing to keep note of this game, a player that moved into the top 10, Julia Bond, started off game 2 with 4 consecutive opens.
Yeah, not good.
All splits.
Not good for JB. And then she's actually in an area of the lane that don't see many people in early. I don't think she's throwing urethane. Yeah, I think her last ball was around third arrow. And she's in at least this particular frame I've seen. She's left 2-8. I missed the early splits, but so that's something to keep an eye on.
So I feel that's really the one thing, when the scoring pace is this high, your low games need to be 2-0s. As quick as this round is going to go, last week we saw with the lower scoring pace, you could survive a 160 game, a 170 game. I'm not sure how many of those you can toss out there this week with the scoring pace and still advance, but be interesting to see it develop. Birkett now 100% in her first ball deliveries through 7 frames.
I want to get just a couple things in the chat. Hello again, all. Thanks for watching and tuning in, of course. Appreciate y'all, JR, for real, and Chris, and everyone else. And hey, Fran, it's good to see you. Barbara had a good idea about jersey giveaways, Aaron, which I think is a great idea. Had to be some coordination involved in that, but that'd be a really good idea. Be hard to maybe coordinate the jersey of choice, but if you can guarantee a few players that will provide a jersey or two, that'd be excellent, actually. I will say that I'll give credit to Drew Parkin, who between he and Missy, whenever Missy's on or nearby, makes a show, whatever, he always offers, and she offers to have a jersey, a Missy Parkin jersey, as a giveaway item. He does do that and has done it in the past. Still one player remaining with an unblemished scorecard.
Let's head over there.
Let's do it.
Let's get this after Alexis's shot.
Oh, she looked to be a little further left than she was yesterday.
Just in time for frame 9.
I was going to say, that is great timing.
Birgit Norreichs. She won the 2017 PWBA striking out breast cancer mixed doubles with Jason Sterner for her lone tour title, but has consistently made shows since making her way out onto the tour a couple seasons ago, including earlier this year in Cleveland. Looking for 9. Let's go. Come on, Birgit.
I'm still in for 4. 4 unblemished scorecards.
How was your scorecard today? Oh, unblemished.
This is an update. Julia Bond made a ball change. And had some favorable results. So she's trying to save a game, essentially.
Delivers the strike in the 8th frame. .189 still out there. That would be a tremendous 189. Real nice interview with Sydney as well up on the PWBA Facebook channels from yesterday. Talking about urethane, talking about the love for short patterns. Oh, get that 5-7 out of there, Valerie. Right now, far left of your screen. Birgit looking for 10.
Oh, man.
And unfortunately, the 3-4-6-7 ends the run here in game 2. Birgit rolled 279 in her final game yesterday to jump into the number.
Oh! Good spare, Sydney Brummett. That was something else off camera that caught my attention. Sorry.
You know we're watching Sydney right now, Emil, right?
Yeah, I just saw that. I saw her spare. But simultaneously, there was something else that got me. And so when I went back to the screen, there's Sydney Brummett's spare.
That was actually Birgit's spare.
No. I'm not even talking about that one. Aaron, just trust me. That's what you get for not being here.
That's what you get for spoiling it for me.
Well, I wasn't even talking about that. That's the point I'm trying to make, I think.
But there's only one Sydney, right? So confused right now. Great spare, though, by Birgit. I saw that. She can shoot 276 this game.
Now, that was a fantastic spare. I was trying to hone in on her ball choice. I think it was a purple hammer, but now I want to double check.
.274, the final tally for Birgit. Now anxiously awaiting Sydney Brummett's 10th frame. Messenger takes out the 10 for Sandra Gongora. Now into the 220s. Gora's going to be in the 230s, 232 for Valerie Bercier. Cara Mangiola, who's the cut number heading into this game, 193. So she's going to give some pins back to the field. Sydney Brummett's going to be in the 230s, and I still have no idea what Spare Emil was talking about.
I now think that's the best part of the whole thing.
There's a 9 spare, there's another 9 spare, there's an 8 spare, and an attempt at a 9 spare.
Oh, man.
I mean, I appreciate good spare shooting as much as anybody, but I was expecting something different. A nice clean 237 there from Sydney.
What a good start to the morning. What a good start. That's a great start, though, by scores on 29 and 30. The unfortunate circumstance of what Julia Bond is enduring. Those games happen. Now she's just got to work a little harder. Someone was already mentioning donuts, too, in the chat. You guys don't know when to stop. I wasn't even thinking about that. And now I'm just toast.
All right, end of game 2 here. Emil, how are our other pairs looking at the moment?
PWBA 2 is, let's see, Alexis Nair is finishing up in the 10th frame. And that's it. That's all we have at the moment. One quick note, Aaron, about Valerie Bercier, who was on, who we just saw, I should say, in game 2. And yesterday you mentioned, or I had referenced the wrist brace.
Mm-hmm.
And I did speak with her about that this morning. And she mentioned she kind of has what could be known as, at least how she described it, as forearm fatigue. And so sometimes her, after tons of games, essentially her forearm will get very tense and tight, and essentially that will move down into her hand, and so she may not even be able to hold on to the bowling ball.
Oh my!
Without the brace, every now and then. So she was using it before as a tool, because it decreases her tilt and whatnot, and so it can give her a little bit of a different reaction. Now when she uses it, it's to eliminate pain. So that is the reasoning at the moment of why that is.
Very interesting. Thank you for that update.
You're welcome.
Nair finishes with 218. Lindsay Boomershine, Liz Johnson, and Brianna Clemmer heading to 27 and 28. First opportunity to see them today on Bowl TV as we get into game 3. Four nines are no fun.
I don't think we've seen Steph yet today, right?
Haven't seen Stephanie yet either. They started on the low end of the house, so the higher seeded players were in the teens to start. So we got Stephanie, we got Danielle McCune, and Mallory Nutting joining as well.
Getting happy that Mallory was able to hold on for a spot. course, Gigi was the number last night. And, for Gigi bowling with Kelly, just to give you kind of an insight into how Gigi thinks about the game. Last night she was leaving, and we just briefly had a chat, and she asked, she was like, where was Kelly playing? I'm like, it was tough for me to see from my angle, so I couldn't really tell. But I don't think she was as left as one might think because it's Kelly, right? And she was very curious about that, and then wondering, already thinking about how Kelly was doing what she was doing, because obviously now she shoot 300, she ended up taking the lead. She had in a major block, and so Gigi automatically is ready and trying to get better by understanding where Kelly was, what her ball reaction was like, what she was doing on the lanes. So I think today, and I told her, obviously you could just see that, obviously talk to the refs, but talk to Kelly. She'll be forthcoming certainly with information. Kelly has mentioned a few times how she's been helping players, like during tournament, if you will, from not necessarily the full coaching perspective, but I think Kelly's in that mindset where she can't help but want to coach someone, if that makes sense, because she has a lot of belief in the young players out on tour. I think this is excellent for Gigi, and being able to spend time in that manner with Kelly, at least for the first 6 games today.
Good stuff, Emil. Excellent breakdown there.
My man. Secure the donut talk. Because I really want those donuts. Dan West, good to hear from you, Dan, in the chat. I did have tea, by the way. My throat was killing me last night. Not gonna lie. The action was so good that maybe I talked more than I thought I did. But this morning, some solid black tea with some honey. Honey is very underrated. And I could not get a real or raw lemon, but lemon juice did do the trick at the time. So I'm feeling much better. Aaron, how about you this morning?
Went a little different path than that. So
Mountain Dew? Yep. I know you. It's a lot of years of working together right there.
it's funny how that dynamic changes, though, because yesterday was a coffee day. Usually for these events, day one is coffee day. But when I kind of thinking of this day, I don't know why. It's just more of it varies for my potential way to wake up and kind of get going into the day and that. So it varies. But day two is usually a great Pepsi product type of day. See Steph starting off with the front two. She talked about that High Road Max quite a bit yesterday when we talked to her, and using it once again, mentioning that has a 2-inch pin on it. So that was something Kelly had mentioned as well. Oh, get out of there. Get out of town. We don't have time for 10 pins today. But Kelly had mentioned the 2-inch pins as well. Something she had used, I believe, with an Electrify from Storm. So not necessarily something most folks probably have in their bag, thinking of something you'll take to league, but a great addition to the tournament bag to give yourself a different look, a different shape out there when facing these challenging conditions on tour. Do you have a score update? Things have tightened up here at the top of the leaderboard. Kelly Kulick at plus 518, now just 1 pin ahead of Shannon O'Keefe at plus 517. Danielle McCune stays in third place, plus 490. Stephanie Johnson, plus 450, so the top four remains the same. Liz Johnson in fifth, plus 383, so a little bit of separation there now between fourth and fifth, but still a lot of games to go today. Alexis Nyer moving up into sixth place at plus 353. Lauren Payton seventh, plus 348. Brianna Clemmer, plus 331. Sydney Brummett, plus 326. Verity Crawley in 10th, plus 310. Brianna Cote, plus 285. And Taylor Boltai, she's 105 over for her first two games, is the new number at plus 283. So the cut at the moment right now, with 4 left to go, 283 on the right side of plus. Sandra Gongora, the first player out, at plus 274. Cara Mangiola drops to 14th place, plus 265. Clara Guerrero, plus 246. Missy Parkin and Taylor Bailey, plus 245. Daria Payuk, plus 236. Summer Jasmine, plus 223. Talked about Julia Bond, that 137 dropped her 10 spots all the way to 20th at plus 218. Birgit with the 274 jumps to 21st place at plus 214. Shalyn Zolkeefly at plus 209. Caitlin Johnson at plus 204. Liz Culkin, after the momentum of that 267 game, 157 in game two, drops to 25th place at plus 192.
Aaron, some considerable amount of sub 200 games, and the ones that really hurt, Gigi shot 148 after 240. We just talked about Liz Culkin, it's 157, and then obviously what we saw with Julia Bond. Daria Payok shot 178. After her 279, so second game, not fun. Steph J, though, she's still having fun.
Along with Steph J in her front five, Kelly Kulick with the front five on 23 and 24. Shannon O'Keefe started with the front four before 9 spares, striking the sixth. And Stephanie has been having one of those seasons where it's like every week it seems like she's in the top 12. She's kind of hanging around in the mix. Still looking for that first championship round appearance, though, of the season. And she kind of even mentioned it when we brought her on. She said, this is the first time we had the opportunity to talk to her after a block for putting together such a strong effort for performing so well. And but she's been consistent throughout the course of the year. And that looked pretty darn consistent right there to just about every shot we've seen from her. 6 for 6. But when you look at the points, you kind of look at the the stats, you know, that's basically the only thing missing right now this season is a championship round appearance, which of course then leads to the potential for victory. You know, taking a look overall, 11th in points, just outside the top 10. Talked a little bit about that match play and top 12 appearances stat throughout the course of the season. And, you know, she's made 5 of those so far this year, which is tied for 4th overall. It's cashed in every single event, so hasn't missed a cut.
She's had a season or two like that as well, like prior to, of course, and where I think she, at one point, I remember a season she was one of the only few players to be in the top 16 that hadn't made a show. I think it was one of those kind of offhand weird type stats where only a few players who had made the tour championship but hadn't accomplished one or two things, and then the rest of the players had, which was the model of consistency. I remember Diana Z was in that category once.
No, that's a good point. That's and Stephanie, you know, 3 titles over the course of her PWBA tour career, but I believe made the tour championship every year we had it, just based off of being one of the most consistent players out there from week to week.
Yeah, and let's not forget, you know, almost the ultimate situation of, you know, winning a championship, winning a title after giving birth. You know, what April, May, June, maybe 4 months, I think it was. Won the title in July after giving birth to daughter Kinsey in what I believe was March in 2017. I mean, that's, you know, that is obviously I have 2 children and I have learned so much. And this is some real talk right here, ladies and gentlemen. Women are amazing. And those who certainly give birth in whichever manner that it happens, because that is not an easy thing to do. You know, we always talk about, like, we go like to Serena, for example, and winning a major championship while pregnant. And you know, and in this case, Steph, just a few months removed, and, you know, depending on how it goes, you know, you may not be ready in a couple months. You know, sometimes it's hard to stand and do normal stuff. So all my kudos. I'll never forget that moment for her.
Love the real talk, Emil. Another player who we've seen, you know, not only have a consistent career out on tour like Stephanie Johnson, but also, you know, has a young son as well, Missy Parkin. She started this game off with the front 6 over on 15 and 16. Shout out to Drew and DJ.
Yep, Missy in that same category as well. Came back and made a tour championship appearance. Oh, I'm sorry, was participating in the tour championship. Wow. Was it right before or no, right after? I can't remember now. I think it was right after. Yeah, teacher. Now I'm forgetting. Nonetheless.
I believe it was before.
Thank you. Josie Barnes, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
In 2019. Competing while with Lisa Ruth at the Tour Championship.
Missy's string of strikes still intact, front 7. Steph with the 10-pin conversion. Her max drops down to 279. Verity Crawley, a chance to shoot 264 on 31 and 32. Sydney Brummett, chance to get into the 260s as well with the 9th and 10th frame left to go. striking going on 23 and 24. Shannon O'Keefe, Gigi, and Kelly Kulik. Valerie Bercier with the front six as well. Stephanie stepping up, 10th frame, 270s still intact. Oh, 9-pin? No. Steph says no.
It was almost a weird leave from Lindsay Boomershine. I mean, it was 10 back at the pins, but something almost stood. It was so strange.
Missy Parkin did not strike in frame 8, so she can still shoot 279. Valerie Bercier up to 7 in a row.
What pairings, Valerie?
13 and 14. So the first pair we're using on the low end.
Okay. Aaron, man, I think we really got to keep a close eye on Lauren Payton today. The look has been excellent. I did not see what happened in the 199 game 2.
She's on 29 and 30 right now. Can get into the 250s.
Kind of flying under the radar a little bit. She too, speaking of family, of course, her fiance Matt Russo. Both of those individuals part of Team USA and both collegiately at McKendree for Lauren, Weber for Matt, respectively. Engaged. Matt's parents are also here, so she has some family this week as well. I already talked about what that meant to Liz Colkin, and anytime family and friends are around for any player, it certainly helps. I think someone mentioned while we watch Brianna Klimmer, might have been Barbara, said we should have an event in South Carolina. I'm all good with that. I would prefer Myrtle Beach, if that's possible. Just me being, selfish. But I think the players would enjoy that. Fans, I bet we sell out of that week.
I mean, while you're making requests, Emil, throw Hawaii out there,
Yeah.
Valerie up to 8 in a row now, 13 and 14. So that is the lone string of strikes left here in game 3. also on the same pair with Julia Bond after that 137 game. Julia still nothing too crazy this game, but can strike out to get to 208. Valerie connected for 9.
All right.
Once again, a big thank you to Lane Talk for providing live scoring this week. Looks like Valerie has connected for the first 2 in the 10th. So we're going to have a shot at 300 here, folks. It looks like she connected. Valerie Bercier with the 300. How about that? Way to go, Valerie. Second 300 here. Of the PWBA Albany Open. Bercier was at plus 196 starting this game. So going to make the jump to plus 296 and get right into the mix for this top 12. Competitors just moving one pair to the right here for game number 4 as we kick things off. So take another look at Stephanie, Danielle, and Mallory and get to welcome in Gigi Mason, Shannon O'Keefe, and Kelly Kulik. To our feature channel here on BowlTV.com for the Albany Open. talked a lot about jerseys today. A lot of great apparel companies out on the PWBA tour as product registered partners, and Visit Sportswear, one of those companies. So big thank you to them for their continued support of the PWBA tour. Follow them. Hashtag never give up. Hashtag be unique. Viz Sportswear, proud apparel sponsor. On the PWBA tour. So our top players entering today's competition, all on the featured pair here for game 4 right now. Getting closer and closer to that next cut to the top 12. Have our second 300 of the event just wrapped up. Valerie Bercier, the 2019 PWBA Rookie of the Year. To go along with Kelly Kulick's 300 to wrap up competition yesterday. On her way to move into the lead. Nice shot there from Danielle. Stephanie and Danielle, Shannon and Kelly all north of plus 500 entering this game. Kelly at plus 573. Shannon O'Keefe plus 550. Stephanie Johnson plus 518. D-Mac plus 506. We do have a score update now available after 3 games today, 15 games overall, 255 in game 3 for Kelly Kulick. So mentioned at plus 573 now. Shannon O'Keefe plus 550. Stephanie Johnson moves into third after that 268. She's at plus 518. Danielle McCune plus 506. Liz Johnson plus 438 in fifth. Lauren Pate 257 last game. She's at plus 405. Alexis Nair plus 370 in seventh. Sydney Brummett in eighth plus 361. Verity Crawley plus 352. Brianna Cote plus 343. Missy Parkin 278 to jump to plus 323 and get into the top 12. Missy had 323 over, and then Brianna Clemmer tied with Cara Mangiola for the final spot right now into the top 12 at plus 321. Sandra Gongora just 6 pins back at plus 315, and Valerie Bercier jumps all the way to 15th place at plus 296 after rolling 300 in game number 3 to get within 25 of the number. Clara Guerrero plus 292, Taylor Bailey plus 281, Daria Payuk plus 273, and then Shalyn Zulkifli plus 245. That is your top 20. Taking a look at 3-game totals so far. Stephanie Johnson, 757 out of the gates. Valerie Bercier, 746. And after that, a couple of lower 700 sets out there. Taylor Boltice, 703. Taylor Bailey, 718. Clara Guerrero, 704. Sydney Brummett, 708. Lauren Pate, 702. Liz Johnson, 701. Shannon O'Keefe, 723. Kelly Kulick, 713. For the folks in the chat, we asked you yesterday if you could put together a top 5 team, top 5 players on the PWBA tour. But with the way this stepladder final currently is shaping up, obviously still a lot of games to go, but our top 4, Kelly Kulick, Shannon O'Keefe, Stephanie Johnson, Danielle McCune, pretty amazing top 4. So folks in the chat, and even Emil, if you want to tackle this one. It's Kelly. Oh, Kelly kicking out 10s. If you could have a dream stepladder finals, 4-player stepladder final, any 4 players you'd want to see in that situation, who would they be? So chat, go ahead and tackle that one for a quick sec. Dream stepladder finals. Taking a look at live scoring provided by Lane Talk. Cara Mangiola, I mentioned she's tied for the cut at the moment. Spare 4-bagger. Sydney Brummett inside the cut. 4 out of the first 5. Sandra Gongora just outside the number. Also spare 4-bagger. Missy Parkin, 4 out of 5 to start. Clara Guerrero, just outside the number as well. Front 5, 19 and 20. Taylor Baltice, front 5, 21 and 22. Lauren Pate. Emil said, look out for Lauren Pate. She's got 7 out of 8, can shoot 279. Brianna Clemmer, spare 6-bagger, can shoot 290 this game still. This is picking up in upstate New York, folks.
I think no matter what happens for the rest of the way, Aaron Smith, the Bowl TV community and even us as part of the crew will be treated to a spectacular stepladder final tonight.
I can't argue with you.
That's generally the case every week, right? But it could be a bit extra special because of the way things are developing. I think because of the lane pattern itself offering what it's offering, you get a good mix of strikes and high scores, but you never know with step ladders. It could be different. You're going to have that mix, and then you could also have that Kelly or Liz type effect. And each one of those players individually have their own effect. And speaking of Liz, she did make the Greek church. It may have been one of the roars of the applause that you did hear off camera. Would you agree with that Liz and Kelly each provide their own auras, if you will?
100%. It's a great way of putting it.
Like they're remembered and admired for a lot of the same things, but some different things as well at various points in their careers. Like their auras might even run deeper than like Rick James.
Oh, wow.
It's much deeper than that, man. Aura.
Sounds like a great conversation off topic or offline after the show.
Yeah, yes. We would continue this at a later point.
Looking at some of the comments in the chat, Hosan saying, tough for me to answer. Hosan, we know you're going to pick Liz Johnson in there. Got Harvey just the way it is right now. Roderick, the Dream, Verdi, Daria, DZ, D-Mac. I like that. Rick, just the way it works now. Steve, I'd be deliriously happy with the group in that order, with Kelly coming out on top for the victory. Ken agrees. What we got right now at the top 4? Rep, Julia, Kelly, Faraday, Steph Z, and Brianna Clemmer. We're going to make a quick change here. What are we going to go see here, Emil?
We're going to see 3. It's Brianna Clemmer, Liz Johnson, Boomer Shine, Amanda Najokis, Alexis Nair, Lauren Pate, all potentially the games of 260 or better. Well, specifically on 31 and 32. A couple players with a chance to get into the 260s. Actually, Lauren Pate's already there. Alexis Nair can get there.
Amanda Njokas in the books, 236, 268 for Lauren Pate. Brianna Clemmer will have the opportunity to match that here. I mentioned she was tied for the 12th spot. First shot for Alexis Nair. 279 still out there. Lindsey Boomershine in the 250s.
Boy, this is man. This is fun to watch. It also means they get done quicker. So I'm all good with that too. No, but in all seriousness, I mean, what Alexis Nair has done can't go unnoticed and talked about as well. We discussed her yesterday in the round 2 that she had, very similar to how she handled business last week. Although her round 1 was much different than this week, but she had to make the climb in round 2 to make the numbers she did this week. You know, she started in a good position, amplified it in round 2, and is standing here proclaiming right now that I'm here too, ladies and gentlemen.
Lauren Pate is now going to be at plus 473. Alexis Nair plus 448.
Lauren Pate train is moving. You want to get yourself a ticket if you can. Not sure how much they're going for.
Ooh.
Wow.
And when scoring pace is going the way it's going, that is rough right there. 4-9.
Especially considering the Greek church she made in the 7th frame. That's one that you would potentially already put as a potential open when you leave that. Then you make it, and then you leave a 4-9. Like, good Lord. She gave it a run.
217, 455. So with that, Lauren Pate is going to jump a spot. She's going to move into 5th.
All aboard.
And Alexis Nair is going to be right there as well.
More sleeping on Lauren Pate. Not that anyone was, but I think she was kind of flying under the radar a little bit this week and understandably so with obviously what the excitement that Kelly brought, Liz Culkin, the hometown favorite, and then obviously how Stephanie started, Shannon's great qualifying rounds, and of course Danielle. Lauren Pate and Alexis Nair are the young players that we talked about this morning. At least one young player will give this thing a run. We're going to have a couple, I think, who are going to give it a run, who may end up in the top 4. Obviously, long way to go before that is decided.
192 finish there for Danielle. She's going to give some pins back. She's going to fall below plus 500. So that means Lauren Pate, Liz Johnson, Alexis Nair are all going to be in her rear view mirror. Giving a wave and shifting it into the next gear. I think we're going to see quite a bit of shifting around that top 12 number here. Just taking a look at live scoring. So some of the players we just watched in that previous game making the jump to the low end of the house. Liz Johnson, Brianna Clemmer, Lauren Pate, Alexis Nair down to 13 through 16. Taylor Boltice, big 256 game. Final few shots of game 4 here on 21 and 22. Business picking up here, folks, for game number 5, which is about to get underway momentarily here. Taylor Bailey, Missy Parkin, Caitlin Johnson going to be on 23 and 24. As we wait for this game to get underway, Valerie Bercier, who rolled 300 2 games ago, Julia Bond, Sandra Gongora. Seeing a lot of numbers in that 35, mid-35 range right now, contending for spots in the top 12. But, folks, whether you're looking to purchase your first new ball or you're a veteran of the sport, Turbo has functional and trendy accessories for bowlers of all ages and skill levels. From their patented quad 4-in-1 inserts to switch grip, their interchangeable thumb inserts, or any of their premier accessories. Good folks at Turbo Grips are committed to providing bowlers with only the highest quality products and latest technology. Turbo. proud accessory partner of the PWBA Tour. Check them out. Hashtag Driven to Bolt. Scores updated after game 4 here, 16 overall. Kelly Kulik continues to lead, 249 that game. She's now at plus 622. In second place, Shannon O'Keefe has been matching her strike for strike today. Plus 597 in second, Stephanie Johnson. In third place, plus 556, Danielle McEwen. plus 498. That's your top 4. Lauren Pate moves into 5th place. Just 25 pins out of the show, plus 473. Liz Johnson in 6th, plus 455. Alexis Nyer after that 278 performance, plus 448 in 7th. Brianna Clemmer plus 389. She had 268 last game. Sydney Brummett in 9th, plus 387. Sandra Gongora moves into the top 10 with 257 last game. She's at plus 372. Missy Parkin plus 362. And Brianna Cote rounds out the top 12. She is the cut number at the moment, plus 355. First player out, Clara Guerrero, plus 338. Taylor Baltice and Verity Crawley at plus 337. Both players going in different directions that last game. Baltice rolled 256. Crawley 185. Valerie Bercier followed up that 300 with 237. She's at plus 333. Cara Mangiola plus 323. Julia Bond plus 285. She had 259 last game. Taylor Bailey plus 259. And Shalyn Zulkifli plus 245, your top 20. Top block so far for 4 games, Stephanie Johnson, 995. Valerie Bercier, 983. Shannon O'Keefe and Lauren Pate at 970. Kelly Kulick, 962. Alexis Nyer, 941. Sandra Gongora, 945. Clara Guerrero, 950. Taylor Baltice, 959. So a lot of big numbers out there through the first 4.
And Aaron, as I was making my way back to the booth here, had a brief convo actually with Shannon and asked what was working for her today. And basically it's been much of the same, which is a good thing for Shannon. Playing them the same as she did yesterday. Same kind of combination of equipment. Top 3 balls that she has used. I think she's into the Strata Hybrid at the moment, but Damn Good Verge and Obsession Tour and the Strata Hybrid, which she mentioned was a clean ASIM, which she doesn't normally like. And actually, she got some heat for it from Chuck and Eric. They marked the time and day that she said she actually liked a clean ASIM bowling ball.
Wow.
So in a sense, somewhat of a business as usual attitude and making sure keeping the process the same. She also did say, she is trying to make sure that she gets the ball onto or out onto the lane, as opposed to into the lane. So she doesn't want to kind of get it into the lane too early. And when she does that, she notices the ball tends to lose a little bit of speed down lane. Not a loft, not a loft, but just getting the ball through the lane, not kind of dumping it in the lane at the foul.
It's really been impressive. And just thinking about the variety of patterns the players have seen so far this year, the different houses, the different surfaces from week to week. And Shannon is on her way to continuing her run of top 12 and match play appearances here this season. Once again, she did miss 1 week where she did not compete, the Greater Cleveland Open. But in pretty excellent shape to advance once again to another top 12 here out on tour, which is when you really think about it, that those top 12s, when they add up, that's just phenomenal to be that consistent across that many patterns, that many different weeks, the different crosses, the breakdowns.
Yeah, we touched on that a little bit. I forget what day, yesterday maybe, but that is a number that is kind of unmatched, I think. You can look at averages and obviously points, of course, even cashes to a degree. Obviously, that just tells you how many people have earned a check, which is, what everyone is looking to do. But the top 12 in the match play, of course, is when you put yourself in position to really win a title. And she has obviously consistently been in the top portion of that category for the last, 3 to 4 seasons, really, at least the last 3. Definitely 2019, she led almost every statistical category that we have on tour. And it's just a sign of her greatness. Speaking of cashes, mentioned that number as well. It's going to change a little bit this week. One player will be removed. It's going to be Dasha Kovalova. And Julia Bond, Lindsay Boomershine, Stephanie Johnson, Maria Jose Rodriguez, and Taylor Boltice all will move to 9 events. The only thing I don't know about this, Aaron, just because I haven't been to that many this year or this season, is how many events each player has bowled respectively in relation to the cash number. So they may have cashed in every event, but not bowled in each event, like we've been talking about with the match play, for example, in the top 12.
Well, for those players you mentioned, Taylor, Maria, Stephanie, Lindsay, Dasha, and Julia, they have been out every week so far. So outside of Dasha, they're all going to be still sitting at 100% now. Brianna Clemmer, 13 and 14, 7 out of 8 strikes, can shoot .279. We mentioned Lauren Pate, some opens this game. She has 3 opens. One of them is split through 7 frames. So potentially is going to give up that 5th spot after gaining it last game. Faraday Crawley, 2 missed single pins this game on 17 and 18. And, we talked a little bit about that yesterday as well, with just the shorter pattern causing some issues for single pins, it seems like. And Verity, a player who is at 100% at the moment for match play, top 12 appearances, even though she didn't bowl the first 3 events of the season, potentially in jeopardy of not making her first top 12 since returning. Kelly Kulik, Emil. So it's 277 out there. It's absolutely crazy what she's been putting up this week.
Yeah. I mean, should we go to it?
Looks like we have it. Can head over there.
PWBA 3.
She's going to maintain her lead here. Stepping up, frame number 9. Emil, it's kind of scary to think about. You know, when we talked to Kelly afterwards, she said, "Okay, if I can get through game 1, I'm probably going to be pretty good." I think she started with the front 7 today. Her score so far: 244, 214, 255, 249. Chances to still get to 256 this game. Outside of 214 today and a pair of 2-0 games yesterday, she hasn't had a game under 240.
Now that is impressive when you put it in that term, although those terms, those parameters. When you look at it, the individual games. Talking about consistency. It's hard to average that and be that consistent.
Emil gave us that excellent breakdown of some of the things Shannon was looking at here on this 36-foot pattern we're using this weekend. Sorry, gotten the first strike in the 10th. One more to get into the 220s.
Her lone open on this pair was a just ridiculous 7-9.
Ooh.
On the left lane.
GG at 234. Shannon now in the 220s, and Kelly, as we said, a chance to get into the 250s here. She can put together a double. Brianna Clemmer, 277.
Ball change on the fill coming up. I believe it's going to be a Rodman Pearl for Shannon. Pretty sure Kelly is throwing an IQ tour.
Brianna Clemmer is going to move ahead of a couple folks here, Emil, with that 277 game. Going to move ahead of Liz Johnson. Nearly going to catch up to Lauren Pate, who's going to be in the 180s this game. It looks like she's going to surpass Alexis Nair as well.
What this pair just offered here is it's the 1-2-32 cross for the round of 32. Two of ultimately, obviously, Kelly is already in the great category, and I think Shannon has, to me, officially entered that category. We talk about some of the greatest bowlers in the history of this tour at this point. And they'll be obviously fighting for a top seed. And then you add in Gigi to complete the cross, and you're looking at, again, the future of the tour. It's a good time to be a fan of professional women's bowling. Tell your friends about the PWBA. Tell them all. PWBA 1?
That's what we're on right now.
Oh, there you go.
And Mr. Williams, Julia Bond on this pair, 21-22, 279 out there.
Wow.
Pair 259 last game. Can get right into that plus 350 range if she can find a double here. That 350, 360 range. She'll be right back in the mix after 130 in game 2. How crazy is that?
She just had to, obviously after that 130, we knew she was going to have to work just a little bit harder, dig a little deeper to find, what she needed. Of course, it's out there. She knows it's out there. You have a bad game, and really the epitome of the bounce back, right? You got to move that out the mind and do the best you can to get back to what you were used to doing. And with, as you mentioned, 2 strikes here in this 10th frame, she will put herself fairly in that mix of making the top 12. And again, we know what Julia is capable of. And so you cannot also count her out of continuing a run to the top 4.
Yeah, if she strikes out, she'll just be 10 pins behind Sandra Gongora. Gongora and Missy Parkin both at the same total at the moment. Both at plus 374. She's not going to get that second hit, though, but the spare will be at plus 353. Business picking up. Brianna Cote at plus 381. Clara Guerrero at plus 354. Julia officially at plus 353 for 268. Taylor Boltice at plus 364. This final game is going to be fun. And speaking of fun, folks, as we get ready for game number 6, we have yet to have a giveaway this round. So let's go ahead and get ready for a giveaway. If this is your first time on BowlTV.com, the giveaways work very easily. All you have to do is wait for the prompt in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. They'll say a giveaway is going to begin soon. They'll count down for 60 seconds. And then another prompt will show up bottom left-hand corner of the screen that says a giveaway has begun. And you'll see a submit entry button. All you have to do is click on that submit entry button. You'll be entered for a chance to win a PWBA Bowl Fearless Mini Visiball. We had them out last week for the first time all season. Going to be giving away a few of them again today, signed by our tournament leaders after each round. So potentially a Kelly Kulick signed PWBA Bowl Fearless Visiball up for grabs for one lucky Bowl TV viewer. So we're going to get that started up in just a moment here. We've talked a lot about Lauren Pate and Alexis Nyer today. They're pretty close to the standings right now as well, just 11 pins separating them. Plus 460 for Lauren and plus 449 for Alexis. So how about after this opening shot from Lauren Pate, we will get the giveaway underway. Once again, if you are watching in full screen mode, we do recommend you take it out of full screen so you can see the chat and everything. Great shot there from Lauren. Let's go, folks. Good luck, everybody. So again, good luck, everybody. Just wait for that submit entry button. All you got to do. PWBA Bowl Fearless Mini Visiball up for grabs. We mentioned Brianna Clemmer jumping up ahead of a few folks here with a big 278 or 277 in game number 5. As soon as we have the official update, we will let you good folks know. Nothing but strikes on 21 and 22 so far. Clemmer, Lindsay Boomershine, and Liz Johnson. And congratulations to Joan for winning the mini Visiball PWBA Bowl Fearless branded. Congratulations, Joan. Our marketing team will be reaching out to you in the next day or two to make sure that gets shipped your way to the right address. And thank you to everybody for being part of the Bowl TV community. We still have a couple more giveaways to go before it's all said and done here at the PWBA Albany Open, Kingpins Alley Family Fun Center our host. Shout out to Doug and his crew. 710 sneaks up on Liz there. Frame number 3. We do have scores available now after 5. See them scrolling across the bottom of the screen as well. Kelly Kulick plus 678 leading the way. Shannon O'Keefe plus 622 in second. Stephanie Johnson plus 561 in third. Danielle McEwen plus 485 maintains 4th spot. Brianna Clemmer, though, 268 and 277 her last 2 games. To get to 5th place plus 466. 5 pins ahead of Liz Johnson at plus 461. Lauren Pate at plus 460. Sydney Brummett plus 453. Alexis Nyer plus 449. So pretty crazy that less than 40 pins separating 4th to 9th place, just like that. In 10th place, Brianna Cote plus 381. And then a tie for 11th, which also means the cut number at the moment, because it goes to 12th, plus 374, Sandra Gongora and Missy Parkin. Taylor Boltice, the first player out, plus 364. 10 back. Clara Guerrero, 20 back, plus 354. Julia Bond plus 353. Valerie Bercier plus 338. Kara Mangiola plus 316. Shalyn Zulkifli plus 311. And Verity Crawley plus 308.
All right, business is picking up as we thought it would. Congrats to Joan, by the way. The giveaway item. Of course, the players we are watching currently are in the number and bowling well enough, it looks like, to remain. For many of them, of course, except Lindsey Boomershy won't be able to get there, as well as Amanda Najokis. But Valerie Bercier and Julia Bond in 15th and 16th place, respectively. Bond in 15th, Bercier in 16th. Right now, both trying to get to the top 12. And we're going to take you to PWBA 3 now. JB fresh off a strike.
On the low end of the house, Taylor Boltice, who's the first player out of the cut, started with the front six, but looking at back-to-back opens here in the 7th and the 8th after a pair of splits. So she can still get into the 240s this game.
Another good run there. 10-pin there in the 7th frame. Was working and hoping for a good block today after, again, my conversation with Valerie this morning. And she has put it together. And now frames away potentially from making the run, completing it to the top 12.
Another player outside the number right now in 33 and 34, Clara Guerrero. Started with 5 out of the first 6, but missed a single pin in the 7th, so her max 246 now. Lucy Parkin sending pins all over the place for the double. She and Sandra Gongora were tied for the final 2 spots in the top 12, plus 374.
Would have been a nice hit in the 7th frame for JV. She too now leaves a 10-pin on that lane.
Her max now 245. So the players in the number, because we have a bit of a gap between 9th and 10th. About 70 pins there. So Brianna Cote at plus 381. And then as mentioned, Gongora and Parkin at both at plus 374 currently in the number. For Cote, she's on 25 and 26, and something we said just a little bit too much this week. Missed single pin for her as Parkin catches a tremendous break there to just have the 3-6 left standing. Missed single pin in frame number 5 for Brianna. Followed it up with a spare in the 6th. Everybody else ahead of the number doing what they need to do to maintain a spot in the top 12, so it's really for these final 3 spots. Gongora avoids disaster in the 8th frame. 10-pin standing up there for a little bit too long for my liking, but just the 7-pin. Her max, though, now into the 220s. Another 10-pin for Julia Bond. Puts her into the 230s now. It's going to be close, Emil. Oh. Whew. Scared there for a quick second on that spare attempt. The extra friction helping that one. Guerrero delivered the double in the 8th and the 9th. So she can step up here in the 10th. Still getting to the 240s. Cara Mangiola can get to 249. She's a little bit farther back at plus 316. Bercier getting ready for her 9th frame. 279 still out there. Cote striking the 7th. She's up in the 8th. 4-9 for Cara Mangiola in the 9th frame. That's going to end her run here. Another great showing for the rookie out here this season. 10-pin for Bercier. Drops her max into the 250s. Taylor Baltice got to plus 397. So she is in the books right now, 397. I think she was the only player not on our featured channels for this final game.
Oh,
Brianna Cote with the double in the 7th and the 8th.
uh-oh.
And after that last one was close, Gongora, big time trouble. She can max out for 202 now. Parkin with any type of mark is going to go around that. They were tied for 11th. Julia Bond. Bond will have the opportunity to go around Gongora. Taylor Baltice already has. Clara Guerrero's up in the 10th frame right now, can still get to 246. That would put her at plus 400 to go ahead of Baltice, Gongora, and Missy Parkin.
Interesting to watch what's transpired in this game for Sandro. Started off so strong. Looked like, she was going to shoot upwards of 290. The split in the 6th frame and obviously back-to-back single pins, and she almost missed the 7th pin in the 8th frame. Nice shot there from Taylor Bailey, and another great week of bowling again for Taylor. Big shot here for Gongora. Boy, how many 4-9s have we seen in terrible times, Aaron Smith?
They've seemed almost as common as the 7-10 last week.
Wow.
Gongora got the double. So she's in the plus 390 range. So fill ball important here. 8 or better to get ahead of Baltice. Parkin can still get to 217. This second hit's going to be big for her because that could put her ahead of Valerie Bercier now. Bercier can get to 86, 386. So Parkin to stay ahead of Bercier here. Clara did finish it off. She got to plus 400. Big shot here for Parkin. Comes in light. Julia Bond needed that one. she could have gotten to 387. So Julie Bond's not going to make it. Let's head over to PWBA 2 real quick, see Brianna Cote. Cote gets the first strike and the 10th. She can max out at 216. But right now, even 2-0.
She would be tied with Taylor Boltice if that happens.
If she strikes out, yep. So right now, let's see, who's hopped in? Claire's in. Taylor's in. And that should do it for keeping Brianna in.
Round 3 of the PWBA Albany Open. Ladies, out of those four sheets, turn them into the front desk.
Actually, she needs to make this.
Completely. We'll get those scores verified and then now see the next one as well. That will begin at 2.
She's at 386.
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
She did make it.
round 3 of the PWBA Albany Open.
I think we might have a tie here, Emil.
It was not the part of the plan.
Gongora dropped out. Parkin dropped out. Guerrero and Boltice are in. She needed to make that. These single pins this week. So unofficially, I think we're going to have one more game coming up here for the round of 32. Valerie Bercier and Brianna Cote, both at plus 386.
Well, bonus bowling.
Of course, we'll await the official tally, courtesy of the PWBA staff. Tennille Milligan, Kathy Waka on site this week.
Yeah, they're working on it.
To the tournament office, please. Curtis Vancouver to the tournament office.
Also know that tone of voice from Tennille, who was asking for Curtis.
Vancouver to the tournament office, please. Curtis Vancouver to the tournament office.
Aaron, I can tell you that we are double checking which pairs players have bowled on in the last couple of games. Well, better order that food now. What can we, depending on where this is at, Aaron, I might dip out, break something down real quick, and then I'll hop back in. That's right. Be safe out there, Rick. All right, folks, again, waiting for the final number. We believe there is a tie for the 12th spot.
As far as I know, the next round is still scheduled for 2:30 p.m. Eastern, so a little bit shorter break. It appears for one of these athletes, at least. I have to say, Mr. Williams, I think this might be one of the first ones we've had all season. Can't recall too many roll-off scenarios so far here in 2021.
Well, you got what you needed, or one. Maybe you didn't know you needed it, but here it is.
Apparently 25 through 28 will not be the pair.
No, it will not.
And we're waiting for final results, and by all accounts, just based off of what's transpiring here, roll-off is going to be coming up next. Plus 386 appears to be the number. Brianna Cote and Valerie Bercier. Cote could have gotten the final spot by a single pin, but a missed 10 pin on her final shot of the round appears to have caused the tie. Pretty crazy stuff. And Missy gets that second hit in the 10th. She's in the plus 390 range ahead of both of them. Taylor Boltice and Clara Guerrero, big final games to jump into the number. Nice run after a 137 game earlier in the block from Julia Bond. Not quite enough. Caramangiola, another strong event out here on tour.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have our advancers for this afternoon's competition. Your tournament leader at +680 is Kelly Kulick. Qualifying second, Shannon O'Keefe. Third, Stephanie Johnson. In fourth, Brianna Clemmer. Qualifying fifth, Danielle McEwen. Sixth, Sydney Brummett. And seventh, Liz Johnson. Qualifying eighth, Alexis Nyer. Ninth, Lauren Pate. Qualifying 10th is Clara Guerrero. 11th, Taylor Bullprice. And our 12th and final qualifier is a tie. We will have a one-game roll-off on lanes 31 and 32. They're tied at +386. Valerie Bercier and Brianna Cote. So if I could have Brianna Cote and Valerie Bercier please head on down to 31 and 32. We'll go over our procedures, but for all of our fans, here's what's going to happen. A whole game will be bowled right now to determine who will advance into our top row. The two athletes will get 5 minutes of warm-up on their pair. And then our highest block goal will get to determine who's going to start this match. And that's Valerie Bercier. So she'll determine who will start the match. So ladies, 5 minutes of warm-up. We're going to come up on the pair. Starting now.
All right, folks. Tennille with the announcement. We're going to have a 5-minute warm-up session for Brianna Cote and Valerie Bercier.
5 minutes, ladies. I'm going to give you 5 minutes.
Before we have a one-game roll-off. So 11 players have been determined. Clara Guerrero and Taylor Baltice moving into the top 11. Still awaiting the official after 18 score sheet. But advancers moving on. Kelly Kulick, Shannon O'Keefe, Stephanie Johnson, Danielle McEwen, Brianna Clemmer, Liz Johnson, Lauren Payton, Sydney Brummett, Alexis Nyer, Clara Guerrero, and Taylor Baltice. And then the winner of this one-game roll-off between Valerie Bercier and Brianna Cote will get the 12th spot.
Please hold up on your warm-up. Valerie Bersier has decided she is going to start the match on lane 31. We're going to take this just like we went in other live open match. Ladies, as soon as your arrows come up, and you all have a full set of pins to begin the tiebreaker match. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a big round of applause to get them started? Here's the Lord advance into our top 12, starting at 2:30. Good luck, ladies.
Where did she go?
Valerie Bersier reports to 31 to begin the match.
All right, everybody. It appears we are ready to go here. Roll off for the final spot in the top 12. Valerie Bersier against Brianna Cote at the PWBA Albany Open. Valerie kicks things off with a strike. Delivered the lone 300 here so far today. And as it turned out, needed every single strike, along with a couple others, to make this top 12, or have the chance to make this top 12. So first look at Cote. Excellent shot to kick things off for her. Once again, needed to have a quick reset. Cote missing a 10-pin on her final shot of the qualifying round. Otherwise, she would already be in the top 12. She'll get another opportunity at that 10-pin here in frame 2. No problem there. Stays clean through 2. There's the early double. That one jumped off the spot, 3-6-10. Nine pin in the third for Cote. Once again, this is a one-game roll-off for the final spot in the top 12 to advance to the next round here at the PWBA Albany Open at Kingpins Alley Family Fun Center in South Glens Falls, New York. All right, Cote has had control of the pocket here through the first four frames. Just a matter of getting Carey to cooperate. Delivers the strike in frame four. Strike on each lane so far for her. Valerie started off with a double 3-6-10 on the left lane in frame three. Bercier gets the mixer in the fourth, 3 out of 4 strikes to start. Holds the early 12-pin lead. All right, Bercier in business, 4 out of 5 strikes. Couple of questions about what happens if Brianna and Valerie end up tying this match. It would be a one-ball roll-off with the high score advancing. It's shaping up to be a high-scoring match here. Both players looking locked in. Caitlin in the chat is correct. That was a misread on my part. 8 pins the difference. Mixer doesn't get the 7 to tumble. 6th frame. Valerie started off the day in 26th place, plus 150. Went 236 over for these 6 games. Body language said she may have not liked that one. It shaped up nicely. 5 out of 6. Max scores right now. Bercier 277, Cote 248. Trouble in the 7th, Greek Church. Just the 2, so the first opportunity here for Cote to jump into the lead. She's able to deliver a couple strikes here. She'll be able to step up on the 9th and 10th and shut out Bercier. 7th frame. And gets the 7 to fall. Did not fall in the 6th. The late tumble of the 7 pin. It's going to give Cote the opportunity to move into the lead. Looking for the double in the 8th. Oh. Pins have been wanting to fall oh so close here. 10 pin. Moving and shaking, does not fall down. Report from Emil that Cote using the Storm physics here in this matchup for Valerie, New Brunswick Zenith Pearl. Spare conversion is going to give Cote the lead. But just as quickly as Cote had the chance to double in the 7th and in the 8th, to have the chance to lock out in the 9th and the 10th, Bercier now finds herself in that same position after the spare in the 8th. If Valerie can strike in the 8th and the 9th, the ball will be in her court for the 10th frame. Gets the light hit. Can retake the lead here with a strike. And the importance of this 9th frame, if Valerie does not strike, Cote can step up here, 9th and 10th, shut out and move on to the top 12. It's another light hit. Was not going to go through the head pin again on that one after the Greek Church in the 7th. Double sets her up for the opportunity to throw 2 strikes. And move on to the next round. For Cote now, it's all about putting pressure on. She can still get to 228. Which would force Bercier to double. Cote in the 9th, up the hill, gets it. Once again, folks, this is for the final spot in the top 12 here at the PWBA Albany Open. The 11 players already advancing in no particular order. Kelly Kulick, Shannon O'Keefe, Stephanie Johnson, Danielle McEwen, Brianna Clemmer, Liz Johnson, Lauren Payton, Sydney Brummett, Alexis Nair, Clara Guerrero, and Taylor Bultice. Cote and Bercier fighting for that 12th spot. Tied after 18 games, plus 386. Now down to the 10th frame. What a shot. If Cote gets this next hit, she gets this next strike, Bercier will have to double. Count, very important if she doesn't strike on this. She's been all over the pocket, so you would imagine she'll be there one more time. Second shot of the 10th. The light mixer has been the hit this game, but does not fall. With the spare 217. So Bercier will need the first strike in the 10th. Nine spare strike for Valerie would be 215. So Cote has done enough to force the first strike in the 10th. Would have loved to make her throw the double. 217. Just going to have to wait and see. Valerie Bercier has not missed on lane 32 yet in this match. Strike to advance for Valerie Bercier. Got to have all 10. Gets the late fall of the 7. Gets the hit. Now just needs to stay behind the line for the next 2 shots, or next shot. Just hit some pins. Going to be in the 220s. Valerie Bercier, what a comeback. This will officially get the job done. Valerie Bercier is advancing to the top 12 here at the PWBA Albany Open. Brianna Cote. Finish in the 13th position. 224, 217.
Congratulations, on a great match there, but again, 2:30, we will begin our round of 12. Right back there, so we hope to see you as you watch the best women bowlers in the world.
All right, folks, our final look here from the round of 32. And once again, we do appreciate everybody joining us here on Bowl TV from the PWBA Albany Open at Kingpins Alley Family Fun Center in South Glens Falls, New York. My name is Aaron Smith. Once again, as we wrap up this broadcast, we're going to have about an hour and 10 minutes, 70 minutes to go until we start up the next block. So with the roll-off, the time in between the blocks got a little bit shorter, but we got bonus bowling. We got a great head-to-head match and a very well bowled match by both players, both Valerie and Brianna. Valerie advancing 224 to 217. Brianna, unfortunately, is going to be eliminated now in 13th place. So her tournament run here in Albany comes to an end. So, folks, we know our top 12. We've gone over that a couple of times. Once again, we're waiting for the official standings update. So I haven't gotten that yet here in Texas, but we know the top 12 advancing. We got Kelly Kulick, Shannon O'Keefe, Stephanie Johnson, Danielle McEwen, Brianna Clemmer, Liz Johnson, Lauren Pate, Sydney Brummett, Alexis Nyer, Clara Guerrero, Taylor Baltice, and Valerie Bercier. Bercier rolled a 300 as well in that block to end up forcing the tie, not in the final game, but throughout the course of the block. We'll get that posted on the PWBA social media as well during the break, heading into the next round. So be on the lookout for that. But we're going to go ahead, sign off, take a quick lunch, and get back to the lanes at 2:30 p.m. Eastern right here on BowlTV.com. So some big thanks to the USBC and BPAA and their board of directors for their continued support of the PWBA Tour. Kegel, the official lane maintenance provider of the PWBA Tour, for bringing out this great pattern this week. A lot of fun watching all the strikes add up. Of course, for the athletes competing, for you, the fans, we got more in store for you coming up today. Of course, the stepladder finals, 6 p.m. Eastern tonight. Dave Lamont and Carolyn Doran Ballard on the call for that show. It's going to be a great one. And of course, for the staff on site, both at Kingpins Alley and for our PWBA Tour staff, thank you again for all your help. And now for the Bowl TV team, Curtis Von Kruger, Emil Williams Jr., my name's Aaron Smith. We're going to be signing off here from the PWBA Albany Open. But once again, it's going to be a quick turnaround, and we'll be back to bowling for the round of 12. Get down to the top 4 for the stepladder finals. More giveaways yet to come as well. So, folks, we're going to go ahead and sign off. We'll see you soon right here on Bowl TV for the Albany Open. And remember, on Bowl TV, bowling lives here. See you soon, folks.